What is up, guys? Metal Douche Mike here. I'm trying out a new filter on my camera. So, what is up, guys? Shout out, shout out to a couple of YouTube channels. A shout out to a guy by the name of Ryan Arnold and Metal Ben. Shout out to Cover Killer Nation. These are the channels that I watch that got me interested in metal. All right, today's chat. Let's just chat. Well, first off, AC/DC just released a new video called Witch's Spell. Well, it's their song off their debut album. But they released a new song off their album. Well, not a new song, but they released a video for the song. The song's called Witch's Spell. And the Power Up album that came out last year with the lineup of Phil Rudd on drums, Stevie Young on rhythm guitar, Angus Young on lead guitar, Cliff Williams on bass, and Brian Johnson returning to the band. Because the whole debacle in 2014. So here's what happened. Here's how Power Up came to be. I think it was during the recordings or just after Rock or Bust album debuted. One of the first things that happened was Phil Rudd, the drummer of AC/DC, was out of it. He was out of his mind a little bit. He did some dumb stuff, and he got kicked out of the band for a bit. They had legal stuff, and Brian Johnson, I think it was halfway through the Rock or Bust tour, Brian Johnson got ear damage, I think, during one of the shows, and Angus said he just couldn't keep up with the touring. And then Brian left and got surgery on his ears, or got things to put in his ears so he can sing and hear. And they had a guy by the name of Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses came in and filled in for AC/DC. I did not see that leg of the tour. I saw the first leg of the American tour for Rock or Bust. I saw them at the Meadowlands at where the New York Giants play, the football stadium, their MetLife Stadium, and it was packed, and it was a fantastic show. Despite Chris Slade being on drums, he did a good job. Anyway, so back to what I'm saying about Power Up. The album came about when everyone met at Malcolm Young's funeral, and Angus talked to Phil and Cliff and Brian and said, "Do you guys want to do an album?" And I think everyone said, "Yeah." So I kind of guess that's how we got the album. Plus, the Power Up album is a tribute to Malcolm Young. And I mean, good God, if I had to rank, let's see, Malcolm Young. Yes. Also, guys, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Malcolm Young. Basically, Malcolm Young, great rhythm guitarist. Has such a feel, man, and such a unique style of playing guitar, different from any other rhythm guitarist. Malcolm Young is that stepping stone on rhythm guitar, and and Angus even said this: Malcolm Young is a better guitar player than Angus. I would have to agree with that. Shoot. Some of the early recordings of AC/DC, some early live bootlegs and stuff like that you can find on YouTube and all that, they're live bootlegs where Malcolm Young's riffing it up pretty good. More than Angus on a few songs. You'll see Malcolm do I wouldn't say it's a guitar solo, but it's a little doodle, a guitar doodle, and it's pretty good. But if we're going to talk bands and band influences, bands that influenced me, AC/DC's one. I'm going to have to say Iron Maiden from Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, UFO, Rush, ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. Um, Pink Floyd was the first band that got me into progressive rock. Um, Pink Floyd, Slipknot, Dream Theater, Meshuggah, Slayer, Metallica, Venom, Svartnat, um, Megadeth, Testament, Disturbed, uh, Cannibal Corpse, um, Bullet for My Valentine, August Burns Red. Yeah, the list goes on. But yeah, how is everyone's day going today? I hope you guys are having a fantastic Thursday. And yeah, rock and roll music shall live on, man. So if there's anybody in the chat that wants to leave a comment, please do so. Love to hear your comments. Hold on a second. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I have a good challenge in the comment chat after this video is done. Give me your top 5 favorite bass players. Bassist. Here's my top 5 bassists. Number 5, Cliff Williams from AC/DC. Number 4, Cliff Burton. Oh, Damage Stink. What's up, dude? Yeah, I'm just talking about top 5 favorite bass players. So top 5 favorite bass players. For me personally, can be any genre. Any genre. So top 5 bass players. Oh boy, it's going to be fun. Well, number 5's got to be Cliff Burton from Metallica. Dude's a fantastic bass player. Who other bass player? Oh yeah, Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. He's a fantastic bass player. So he's at number 4. Number 3 is going to be, surprisingly, number 3 is going to be Geezer Butler. Number 3. I love Geezer. Love his bass, man. It rocks. At number 2 is going to be, I'm going to have to say Gene Simmons. Yes, shoot me in the foot. I said Gene Simmons is a good bass player. And he is. Even though a lot of Kiss's music is commercial, Gene Simmons is a very under-the-radar bass player. He has some licks. If you listen to some of the early stuff and some of the early 80s stuff, Gene Simmons is a fantastic bass player. Oh, God. Steve Harris, Cliff Burton. Geezer. Yep, Jason Newsted's a good bass player. Well, if we're talking bass players, Roger Waters from Pink Floyd. Yeah, he played bass. Wasn't great, but he played bass. Bass players. Oh, his name starts with the G and ends with the E. Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee from Rush. That dude's a fantastic bass player. Very funky, too. Yeah. I think I just gave away my list. But anyway, so back to bands that influenced my... Oh, yeah, Geddy's awesome. Anyway, back to bands. So if I have to go back and talk about my musical journey, ain't that the truth? Let's see, very first time I listened to rock music, when I got into rock and metal, it's going to have to be around middle school. Around either 2007, 2008 is when I got my first CD. First actual CD. And my first actual CD was the Beatles' Greatest Hits #1 album. with the red album art and the yellow number one. It was that. It was one of Pink. It was a Pink Floyd album. It was Echoes, but it was like greatest hits. But it was like one CD, and there was just a bunch of popular hits. And it was 3 or 4 CDs I got, and it was for my birthday back in 2008. Top 5 favorite guitarists. Okay, I'm gonna go from 5 to 1. Number 5 guitarists at number 5. Oh, this hurts my head. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot. I'm putting Tony Iommi at number 5. Tony Iommi at number 5. Number 4. I'm going to say Jimmy Page for number 4. Number 3. I'm going to say Kirk Hammett at number 3. Number 2 is going to be... damn it, what's number 2? Malcolm Young from AC/DC at number 2. And number 1 is Bobby Kreider. His name's Robbie Kreider, but he played Gibson SG. Have you ever heard of the band The Doors? He was the Doors guitar player. I'll put him at number 1. Because why not? Talking about the Doors, man, just speaking of the Doors, I just watched, I think I have it. It's here somewhere. It'll show up somewhere. But talking about the Doors, I will show you guys my CD collection. Sorry, I'm out of the camera for a minute. I'll show you guys my CD collection. Now you guys get to see my CDs. My little humble abode. Oh boy, here we go. Is that all of them? Sorry. Alright, yeah, I have all my CDs. Alright. So I'm going to show you guys all my CDs I have. Well, what I have. That's not a CD, that's a video game. Alright. This is the only Deep Purple album I have, and it's in pretty rough shape. Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water, and Other Hits. Greatest hits. This is kind of my gateway into Deep Purple. I was about to say Pink Floyd. Oh boy. I have the Doors debut album. Sorry about the glare. Tom Petty's Greatest Hits. I'm still sad that Tom Petty passed away. I would love to see him live, because I hear he's good live. Yeah, Tom Petty's Greatest Hits. The Who, Who's Next? My favorite Who album out of the discography. The Very Beast of Dio, Dio's Greatest Hits. And I talk about me hating Kiss. I'll bite the bullet. This is a good album. Their debut album's pretty good. I will shoot myself in the foot for saying that. Another Doors album, Waiting for the Sun. Of course, my very first Metallica album. Yes, some people don't like this album. I love it. This was my gateway into thrash metal. This was my first thrash album. And Saint Anger. But I got this literally 2 weeks after I got Saint Anger. I threw Saint Anger away. I'm not lying. Yeah. My very first Iron Maiden album. Number of the Beast. 666, Number of the Beast. It's... If I had to rank this album... Out of all the Bruce albums, for me, it's probably in the top 10. I'm gonna say top 7. It doesn't make the top 5 for me. It misses by a small margin. I have Peace of Mind. Love this album, but it's not my favorite. Not my favorite Maiden album. My favorite Maiden album, my all-time favorite Maiden album is this masterpiece. Just look at that masterpiece. Just look at it, man. You got Ancient Egypt. You got Bruce Dickinson sing. You got Pharaohs. You got Sphinxes on here. This is just a good album. And if I had to pick my favorite song off this album, well, The Duelist stinks. Flash of the Blade is good. I'm still saying Rime of the Ancient Mariner is the strongest song of that album. Yeah. All right, Heaven and Hell. Then this album's seen a lot of this. Yep, I don't know if you can see it. Heaven and Hell, The Devil You Know. I just call it Black Sabbath with Dio. Ten Zeppelin. I got Physical Graffiti, Led Zeppelin 2, their debut album. I got Led Zeppelin 4. I got Houses of the Holy. And the only Slipknot album I love. I don't care for the other material. I only like this album. Their debut album. This album is so energetic. It is so angry, so raw. It is in your face. And it's a good album. Now, not a lot of the newer fans are Slipknot. I can understand where they're coming from their newer material, but this album got me into Slipknot, and I've been a fan ever since. And then I got the new AC/DC Power Up album. It's a good album. I have AC/DC 74 Jailbreak. And, get some songs on there. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, the international version release. Blow Up Your Video, more like Blow Up My Toe. This album is pretty bad. See, what I don't like about this album, I love the songs. The production stinks. And it seems like the microphones or whatever amps they were using, they're not that great. The songs are good, but a lot of them are filler from the last few albums. Flick of the Switch and Fly on the Wall. This album is like, it's right here. It's Keen. It's not a bad AC/DC album, but it's not good. And then Ballbreaker, my favorite AC. This is my favorite. I don't know why people hate this album. This album's fantastic. This is like a return to form. And this is a really good album. Speaking of Pink Floyd, the only Pink Floyd album I have in my collection now, The Wall, the double disc, The Wall, Black Sabbath, the Dio years. Okay, now we're in my Black Sabbath collection. Oh boy, where did I put Volume 4? I do have Volume 4. It's around here somewhere. Okay. Oh, alright. So, I'm going to rank them in my order. So, yeah. So right now the Black Sabbath album I'm currently listening to, this Little Gem. Yes, I like this album. Some people hate it. I don't understand why. I get it. This is kind of the downfall of Black Sabbath, but there are some good songs on here, like Backstreet Kids. That's a good opener to this album. Strong song. You Won't Change Me, more like You Won't Blow Me. I don't like that song. It's alright. Gypsy. Well, Moving Parts Stand Still is good. Rock and Roll Doctor. Dirty Woman. You can see why I don't listen to this album much. I'll listen to it, but it's just it's not a good Black Sabbath album for the Ozzy era. I have their debut album. This is a good album. Love this album. Love this album, but I'm burnt out on it. There's only a couple songs I will listen to on this album religiously. That is Hand of Doom and Electric Funeral. I like War Pigs. War Pigs I have to be in the mood for. Paranoid I'm burnt out on. I don't need to hear that song again. Planet Caravan's okay. Iron Man's okay. You know, you have Rat Salad. Bill Ward's going crazy on the drums there. Fairies for Boots, you know. And then Master of Reality. This one's a dud for me. I love the heaviness of it. I love the doominess of it. But there's just something missing on this album. How would I rank these two? Yeah. So, this little album, I love this album. This album's always in my top 5 for Sabbath. This album never drops below my top 5. Sometimes it's in my top 3, and sometimes it's number 1. Not today. But yeah, Sabotage. What can I say more about this album? It's basically Black Sabbath pissed off at their record label company. And it's a good album. And Ozzy, man. Yeah, I can see where you're going from there for Master of Reality. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Damaged Inc. But from what I'm saying about Sabotage, if we're talking Ozzy Osbourne's vocals and singing range, he is screaming on this album. And I mean screaming and shouting, and it's good. He has never sung at this level after, I'm going to say after the 2 first Blizzard of Oz albums. After those 2 albums, Ozzy's voice went to shit. But yeah, this album, this was the very first Black Sabbath album I ever purchased, I ever bought. And when I first saw it in Walmart, I got this album from Walmart for, what was it? $8? No, it was $9 plus tax. So yeah, $10. I got this album for $10, and when I first went through and heard it, I was confused, and then I listened to it a few more times, and yeah, this album is the best album of the Ozzy era. In my opinion, this album, a lot of experimentation, but you can see the direction the band's starting to go in. They're starting to reach that peak of success with Ozzy. And they're playing longer well, I wouldn't say longer shows, but they're playing, and they smoked a lot of cocaine on this album. This album should be titled Cocaine, not Volume 4. Cocaine. Because, so, yeah. And so, yeah, those are my albums. I have to put them back. Yeah, those are my albums. I also have video games. I wouldn't mind sharing. I have some GameCube games. So, there we go. Alright. And I also play Minecraft on here, guys. So, check out my other videos. I play drums. I do video games. I also talk about music. I also love trains, so I'm a huge rail buff. So if you ever see videos of trains on my channel, sorry. I like trains also. But yeah. Now if we're talking concerts I've been to, I haven't been to a whole lot. My very first concert was in 2012. I went to the American Music Theater in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Born, raised, live in PA. That's all I'm saying. Back to what I'm saying. Very first concert I went to was the Pink Floyd Experience. And I saw them at the American Music Theater in Ronks, Pennsylvania. And they were pretty good. They did a lot. They didn't play all the big hits. They played a lot of the more obscure stuff. So it was a good show. And then the next band I saw Thanks. Anyway, the next band I saw was my dream band, ACDC. Nice. Nice. What concerts have you been to, man? My concert, anyway, back to my concert in 2015. Me, my uncle, my cousin, we went to New York City. I've never been to New York City. I'll still never get there because we were on the New Jersey side. But we went to see ACDC for the Rocker Bus tour. It was a good show. Brian Johnson was good. This was early in the tour before he left. And it was a good show. I had fun. You know, it's ACDC. It's what you get is what you see is what you get. You're going to get a good show. And then the last band I saw was the Jason Bonham. What was it? Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin experience or something like that. But yeah, I saw Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin band at the American Music Theater, and he plays drums just like his father. He is just as good. And they did songs off of the first, second, and third albums of Zeppelin, and it was good. But yeah, those are the only bands I've seen. I have plans, not sure yet, but I might have plans to see Metallica, because Metallica is going to be playing in Daytona, Florida this summer, I think. Let me look that up. Real quick. Metallica Daytona. Okay. Here, I don't know if you can see it, but here's the venue. The venue is called Rockville. Welcome to Rockville, May 8th, 9th, and 10th, 2020. Well, I'm a fool. Whoops. So they moved it to this summer for 2021. Okay. I corrected myself. Okay, Rockville 2021. So, who are the opening? So, what are the acts? Okay, Rockville 2021. Here's the venue. It's a popular destination in Florida near the Daytona Speedway, Florida's biggest rocks experience. The event will be Here's the headliners for Rockville 2021 in Daytona this summer. Metallica will be playing 2 nights and 2 unique sets. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I've never seen Metallica. They're one of the bands I've always wanted to see live. But yeah, the Rockville Experience. That's what the venue's called. So, Metallica, Nine Inch Nails, Disturbed. The weekend will also feature Rob Zombie, Stained, Deftones, Leonard Skinner, Mudvayne, oh boy, Cypress Hill, The Offspring, Social Distortion, Lamb of God, Chevelle. I don't like Chevelle. Mastodon. There's a good band I want to see. Stone Temple Pilots, Asking Alexandra, and many more. Tickets are starting at $99.50. Ooh. And for a 4-day pass for all the shows, $249. Hey, they got to make money somehow. All right. So I'm still here. I'm just going to look up what's happening in the rock news at the moment. I'll give you guys some rock news. What's going on around? Let's check Loudwire. Let's see what's on Loudwire. Let's see what the current stories are. Nice. Ellefson, we're not going to go into the whole Dave Ellefson thing. That's a dumpster fire between Dave Mustaine and Dave Ellefson. That's a dumpster fire I will not talk about. see what's going on. What's going on here on Loudwire? What's the current top? What's the current gossip here? News. Hmm? Well, that's interesting. There's nothing. Alright, well. Let's try Ultimate Classic Rock, another music source. Ooh, oh no, we just, well, sad to say, it looks like someone just passed away. Who died? David Cutler Lewis, former Ambrosia keyboardist, dies. Oh no. David Cutler Lewis, who served as the keyboardist for Ambrosia in the 70s and 80s, has died following a battle with brain cancer. Well, that's not good. Well, I pray for his family. Well, and I never heard of the band Ambrosia. That's sad to hear that someone dies. That's sad to hear. Metallica sues insurance over money losses. No, I don't believe that one. George Harrison. Ooh. I did not know this was coming out. George Harrison's All Things Must Pass box set announced. Right? I have it right here. Of his 1970 debut solo album, All Things Must Pass, beginning a box set remaster. Ooh, picture disc. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to. That's interesting. I'm probably gonna be live for another 15 minutes, and then I gotta get going soon. So I'm just gonna be on there for a short bit. AC/DC released a new video. Yeah. Foo Fighters to play full capacity show at Madison Square Garden this summer. I heard about that. David Gilmour blames Roger Waters for Animals remix delay. Oh. You guys are old. Can't you guys just make up? Judas Priest announces rescheduled 50th anniversary tour date. Okay. My question is, I wonder what the set list is going to be. Okay. Okay, well, I have a challenge for you guys before I go. Well, actually, two challenges. One challenge, be nice to a random stranger. Hold the door for them. Be extra nice to people, because there's not a lot of nice people in the world. And my other challenge for everyone, think of a band, and then think of a tour set list for that band, and put it in the chat below after the stream's done. Or just make a list of your top 10 bands of all time. How about that? All right, well, I am going to go play video games for a bit. So I am going to skedaddle. Please subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell. And let's grow this channel, because let's grow it. Let's spread the word of Metal Man and music, because this modern stuff, I'm talking rap, this modern mumbo gumbo is making me puke. So, in the words and wisdom of Mr. Ronnie James Dio, we rock. Alrighty, guys. Peace and love. End stream. There we go.